Today on the channel, we've got the other Jada Next Level San Diego Comic-Con exclusive figure. We've got Dhalsim on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challenges review. This time, we're looking at Player 2 Dhalsim. He was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I didn't get him on Jada Next Level. As I said in the M. Bison video, he sold out before I was able to get him. I ended up grabbing him on AliExpress. I only paid a little bit more for him than what he would have costed. But I was definitely going to get him. As I told you, I would. He is here. He's actually been here a little while. I ended up getting a part-time job, so now I'm working 2 jobs. So it's been harder to get reviews out, but he's here and we're going to look at him, of course. So as usual, we'll look at the package, we'll get him out, pull him around, check out all those little features, get you out of here with some final thoughts. So we've got Dhalsim in his Player 2 Champion Edition colors, the purple Dhalsim, and I don't know, I wouldn't go as far as to say the purple version of Dhalsim was my favorite. Actually, I think in Super Street Fighter 2, in Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, there's like the gold Dhalsim. So he's like more bronze than the original Dhalsim. He's like golden. I always like that Dhalsim out of the 3 from the original game. So, you know, I'm sure Jada is smart enough to know that. Just like with M. Bison, there are like colors that are more popular. So they're probably going to put the least popular color when they're going to give you the most extra stuff to go with the figure. And I think that's probably what's going on here. So there you go. You got Dhalsim on the front. Dhalsim Champion Edition artwork on the side. Champion Edition artwork on the back along with his fighting stage. Same thing on the side. Pulling him out of his slip case. We've got Dhalsim with all the extra pieces and parts that it comes with, which is all the same things that the original Dhalsim comes with, plus an additional head and hands. And now Dhalsim Player 1 version gets those extra hands and head. And then you got your flame effects, and of course, this is the main flame effect, the orange and yellow flame effect that so many things like the flaming fireball, the uh, flaming dragon punch, obviously the yoga flame would ignite you, immolate the character for a short time. M. Bison, of course, came with the blue one, but this is the main one. This is the one that you gotta have, which is why you had to get Dhalsim, which is why it doesn't shock me that Dhalsim sold out before M. Bison. They both ended up selling out, but Dhalsim sold out faster, and it definitely makes perfect sense. I certainly wasn't going to be one of those guys that did not end up with this, so AliExpress for the win. We're going to get Dhalsim out of the package and check him out. All right, so we got Dhalsim out of the package with all of his accessories, and of course he comes with quite a few things. Dhalsim, the regular version, came with, almost all of this stuff, plus you get the extras. Amazingly, even though he's got 2 flame effects, he does not come with a flame effect stand. He comes with this stand, same one that the original Dhalsim came with, which allows you to use the stretchy limbs. So that's cool. But they put flame effects in here, and I guess maybe you could use the same stand as the fire dude that's on fire, but you're burning that guy. So I don't know. You know, I get they're not going to do but so much, so they're not going to put 3 stands in there. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. So for the purposes of this video, I have one of these stands here, and of course, I said everything is in the frame, and I forgot to put the yoga flame and the yoga fire in the frame. So now we've got everything. Plus, we've got a standard fireball stand for that. We'll move that out. So Dhalsim, looking cool. Purple Dhalsim, player 2 version. There's nothing different about him other than his paint apps. And, historically, if you like this version, then you obviously should get it. Like I said, I would have skipped this one in favor of the gold Dhalsim. If I was going to get 2 Dhalsims, I would probably want to get the gold one from Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. But I get why they will put this one with this stuff because, a lot of us guys are going to want the stuff. So for me, being completist in Street Fighter is having at least one of every character from Jada and at least one of every effect that they do. So what they get, how they can get me to buy extra figures is put effect pieces that are not with the regular figures in the package, and that's why we are where we are. But Dhalsim, we already know he's a great figure. I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time on just Dhalsim, so to speak, because we've already done that. You can check out my Dhalsim video for full details on him, because he's the exact same figure with a different paint job. You're really seeing what you're getting. What you are getting new, or you're getting a couple of fisted hands. Dhalsim did not have fists. He was the only Street Fighter figure that didn't. And you're getting the Yoga Fire, Yoga Flame added portrait. So there's that. Probably not going to use that one. I'll probably use this one. Nothing wrong with the original portrait at all. But I do like to use different portraits on different figures. So I'll give him the sort of yelling Dhalsim face just to have both portraits in play. The Flame, Yoga Fire portrait is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I'm only going to use it when he's doing that. It's not the default head in a sense. So there's that. Although once I do this video, it might be the default head for a while because I'm not going to keep popping heads. So you have that, and you have your Burning Man or woman here. Looking pretty cool. And that's the one you wanted. That's the one I wanted for sure. Not that there's any, I wanted the blue one too, but I really wanted this one. So now we have it. Then you can do your action figure photography of somebody getting burned many ways. You got your fireball yoga fire. All right, you just stick it on there. Same as normal normal fireball for you, Ken. And you got your yoga flame. And of course, that looks cool too. We're definitely going to work out some poses to see if we can get him to look like he's accurately, doing the yoga flame. I know they did promotional pictures of it, but I want to see if we can do it on the video. So player 2, Dhalsim, is going to take a back seat for a minute while we bring in player 1, Dhalsim, to model the flame effects for us. All right, so we got Dhalsim with his yoga flame effect, and it's not like exactly in position, but certainly worked close enough for government work. Somebody's getting immolated, yoga flame style, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Dhalsim's a little light on his feet because his weight is shifted forward, but you can obviously stand him as I'm doing. And of course, I've got him on this WWE ring that has like a bouncing action, so it's not 100% stable when you're placing things on it. So it took a little bit of a minute to get him on there in position correctly. But yeah, looks awesome. Looks pretty cool. So now that we've seen that, what we're going to do is get player 2 Dhalsim back in here and do some comparisons. All right, so we'll start off with some versus action. X-Men versus Street Fighter, even though they're not alpha versions, but before we started getting alpha guys from Storm Arena, obviously this is what we were going to be doing, so I am going to do that. In the Storm Arena Ken video, I said one of my favorite combos was Sabretooth and Ken, but I actually like the combination of Dhalsim and Sabretooth even more. So I definitely wanted to get them together. Yoga Slam is one of the most awesome moves in all of the Versus series. And unfortunately, there's no real way to do it that I could figure out how to do with like a stand or anything. But basically, Dhalsim sort of jumps up, does a somersault, grabs you out of the air, and slams you with tremendous force into the ground. One of my favorite super attacks. But the juxtaposition of the yoga master and the extreme murderous violence of Sabretooth, it's a contrast that I think is hilarious, and having them be on the same team together amuses me greatly. Here is Dhalsim with the superb, yet I only gave it a 9. I got a figure rank, Vega figure, or Balrog if you like the Japanese name. Last but not least, we got our G.I. Joe comparison. We got Footloose. Haven't put him away yet, so we'll go ahead and use him as the G.I. Joe comparison. And that'll get us our comparisons. We can move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers, San Diego Comic Con exclusive, Player 2 Dhalsim. Hey, he's just as great as the other Dhalsim. He's just purple and bright orange. If you're into that, then you definitely want to get this figure. If you're into the extra fire effects, you're definitely going to want to get this figure. He is, of course, a complete, reproduction other than that, but it's still worthy to have if mainly for the extra effects that you're getting with the figure. So that's why I bought it. That's my raison du jour to get them, and I'm very happy with what I got, even if I had to pay a little bit of a late tax, maybe $10 extra, I think is what I paid. So I'm happy with them. I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. I think it's a great figure. Dhalsim, I think I gave the original one a 10 because I was giving all Jada Toys figures a 10 because at that point they were. But they're getting, I don't want to say long in the tooth, but we are getting used to them. And they are always consistently going to be really good figures, awesome figures. Um, so, you know, I think a 9 is fair. And that's all I got to say about that. So we're not done with Street Fighter. Not yet. Not by a long shot. Next up on the channel will be the Storm Arena Ryu. I have him in hand. Where did I put him? He's around here somewhere. I would have showed him in the video, but I stuck him somewhere. But he is coming for sure very soon to a video near you. That's going to do it for this one. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We got a lot more Street Fighter figures to go, especially with 2 different companies pumping them out now. And I'm fixing to run through a lot of them, if not most of them. So there's going to be Street Fighter on the channel for certain. Till next time, everybody stay safe. Happy collecting. See ya on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.